So hey guys, welcome back. So in this lecture I am going to explain how you can set up the self-hosted runner on your local machine. I am using my laptop and my laptop is my runner that I'm going to set up step by step. But why I need this is our SonarCube server local host which is up and running, and here we have set up the build.xml file also, but still we are not seeing the SonarCube analysis report here. Now what is the reason behind that? So let's go to the build. So we are on the github.com. So this job is running and I can see the error is there. SonarCube server localhost 9000 cannot be reached. I tried this with the Windows latest and Ubuntu latest, which is the GitHub hosted runner. So that's why we are not able to access the local host from the GitHub runner, because the GitHub runner is running on the cloud, and from there maybe it's a network issue. The network is not open to access the local host 9000 port on my system, and that's why we are getting this SonarCube error here. But how can we resolve this one? We need to make our laptop Windows machine as a runner. So for that, how you can do that? So to achieve this one, I will go to the GitHub. First go to the GitHub. Under the GitHubs you can see the repository. This is your username, and under the repository you can see the actions are there. So you click on the actions. When you click on the actions, on the left side you can see the runner is there. Click on the runner, and now here you can see there are the two types of the runner: GitHub hosted runner and self-hosted runner. So as of now we don't have any self-hosted runner for this repository, and here we have the GitHub hosted runner. Those are running in the cloud, so they are running in the Ubuntu, Linux, in the Windows latest in the cloud. That we don't have the access. We cannot log into that server. Okay, this is provided by default by the GitHub, but we need the self-hosted runner so that we have the control on the runner, and we want that GitHub should work as a runner on my local system. Okay, so now I'm going to set up a new runner. So I will click on the new runner, and after that you can see new self-hosted runner. So click on that. Now here you can see the operating system to generate the runner images. Macintosh, if you are working with a Mac laptop, so you can follow these steps. Okay, if you are working with the Linux, you can follow these steps as it is. Okay, and if you are working with the Windows, then we will follow these steps. So as of now we have the Windows 10, our local system, so I'm going to follow these steps. So now the first step is create a folder under the driver root. So now we need to switch to the PowerShell. So I will go to the search, and there I will launch the PowerShell. So this is the desktop icon application, and I will launch the PowerShell application on my Windows 10. Okay, so now my PowerShell is started. I will copy these steps. I will copy this step. So I will copy. I go to the PowerShell and paste it here. Now enter. Now you can see the directory is created under your user. Okay, first step is complete. Now the second step is download the latest runner package. So you just copy and enter. Alright, so we are getting this error that TLS and SSL was secure channel, because by default the PowerShell is using the TLS 1.0, and for the secure channel to log into any site we need the TLS 1.2. How can we resolve this error? So simply you can run this command. So I'm going to provide this command in the description, so you can use that. So I will write this command, copy this command. Let's see if it is working or not. Alright, so the command is run. Now I'm going to invoke the web request. Now this time I can see I'm not getting any error. And alright, so the zip file is downloaded. Now we will follow the next step. So now here the optional. This step is the optional, validate the hash. So we will skip this step and we will go to the extract the installer. So I will copy this step and then I will run this command. Now this is going to extract the installer, and then it will install the runner on my local Windows machine. Okay, so the extraction is done. Now let's follow the next step. Now here we need to configure. So to create a runner and start the configuration experience, we'll copy the steps, and this will be different for you. So whatever GitHub account you have created, in case your account, it will be the different. So don't follow my steps. So you can copy your steps and then run it. Okay, so GitHub Actions self-hosted runner registration is done. The authentication is done. Now we are successfully connected to GitHub. Now runner registration, enter the name of runner group to add this runner. So we need the default. So I'll press enter. Then I want to keep this laptop as it is. Now this runner will have the following labels: self-hosted, Windows. So enter the any additional labels. I will want the default one. Now runner is successfully added and the connection is good. Okay. Now enter the name to work folder. So enter. Now setting is saved. Would you like to run the runner as a service? Enter. Okay. Now we have done these steps successfully. You just enter. Don't do anything. Now we need to start this runner. So you can start this runner by running this runner. So I will write /run.cmd command and then it will start runner as a self-hosted Windows runner on my local system. Alright, so now we are successfully connected to the GitHub. Now it is ready for listening for the jobs. That means our current runner is working and it is up and running. So now what is the next task? So I will go to the GitHub and under the actions, if you go again and then go to the runners, go to the self-hosted runner, and this time you can see my laptop behaving like a self-hosted runner. So we will use this runner to run our job. So what I will do, I will go to the build. Before that I will go to the code, and inside the code I will go to my build.yaml files. So I will go to the workflows, and inside the workflows I will go to build.yaml. So here the name is the build on push branches. We will use the master branch. Now here you need to add the self-hosted. I will edit this YAML file. So now I'm going to run this file on my self-hosted runner agent. So this is the self-hosted and these steps will be the same. We commit the changes. So this we will run runner on local, and after that I will commit the changes and then I'll go to the actions. Under the actions you can see the one workflow is running. So I will click on this one, and here this is on the queue, and if I go to the PowerShell you can see the running the build and the analysis job is there. Alright, so I will go to the build and analyze. Now here you can monitor your job is running here on your local runner. Now my job is running on my local runner.